Hello viewers, welcome to our Bulletin broadcast daily from Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc continues visit to Mongolia. Vietnam export 2.7 million tons of rice in the first half of 2016. National flag carrier Vietnam Airlines certified as 4-star airline.
President Trần Đại Quang hosted a reception in Hanoi on July 14th for former Chilean President Eduardo Frei Ruiz-Tagle, who now serves as ambassador for the Asia-Pacific region.
President Quang praised the important contributions that former President Eduardo Frei Ruiz-Tagle has made to the development of relations between Vietnam and Chile. President Quang suggested the two countries coordinate to push for the early ratification and enforcement of the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement. In regard to the freedom of navigation and aviation in the region, President Quang reiterated Vietnam's stance of settling disputes by peaceful measures without the use of or threat to use force, with full respect for diplomatic and legal process in line with international law, including the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Former Chilean President Ruiz-Tagle affirmed that Chile supports the peaceful settlement of disputes with respect for international law. He also stressed that Chile wants to bolster its economic, trade and investment ties with Vietnam, particularly within the cooperation frameworks such as TPP and ASEAN.
A national workshop was held in Hanoi on July 14th to promote the implementation of the 12th National Party Congress resolution on ensuring national defense, security, and building the people's armed force in the current stage. State President Trần Đại Quang attended and delivered a speech at the event. The workshop served as a forum for scientists to discuss, analyze, and clear up views, guidelines, and orientations of the party, affirm the achievements and point out shortcomings and reasons, set out short-term and long-term goals, and put forth tasks and solutions to bolster the country's socio-cultural and economic development, while maintaining national defense, security, and external relations amid the new situation. In his speech, State President Trần Đại Quang stated that the country is standing in front of opportunities and advantages to speed up the course of industrialization, modernization, and international integration, but also facing a range of difficulties and challenges. The world and regional situation has seen complicated developments, and there remain factors that are likely to cause instability and unexpected incidents. In this spirit, the President requested the scientists to focus discussions on clearing up the party's ideology and absolute leadership in all aspects, as well as the state's united management on national defense, security, and building the people's armed force. Continuing his two-day official visit to Mongolia before attending the 11th Asia-Europe Meeting Summit, Vietnamese Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc met the Speaker of the Mongolian Parliament, Mir Gombo and Khabon, in Ulaanbaatar on July 14.
At the meeting, both leaders expressed their delight at the progress in Vietnam-Mongolia traditional relations and close coordination between the legislative bodies. They agreed to intensify cooperation in many bilateral issues and at international forums, while increasing experience exchange in legislation and supervision. The leaders also plan to adopt the united stance in regional and global issues in the future and boost economic and trade ties to tap the two nations' full potentials. Prime Minister Phúc proposed two countries maintain the regular exchange of all-level visits to enhance all-round relations. For his part, Speaker An Khabon said Vietnam is Mongolia's key partner in Southeast Asia, hoping that the country would support Mongolia's bid to become a member of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation (APEC) Forum. The same day, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc attended the Vietnam-Mongolia Business Forum, where he affirmed that the Vietnamese and Mongolian governments agreed to create the most favorable conditions for the two countries' enterprises to further expand trade and investment links in the time ahead. Prime Minister Phu stressed that political ties between Vietnam and Mongolia have fruitfully developed in recent times, but their trade bonds do not match with existing potentials. He briefed Mongolian investors and businesses on huge potentials of the Vietnamese market, saying that Vietnam wishes to invest in mining, technology, tourism, infrastructure development, and some other fields in Mongolia. Representatives of businesses highlighted the great potentials for stronger cooperation between two nations' companies and expressed the interest about a series of cooperation fields, including agriculture, food, tourism, construction, mining, textiles, and garments. They revealed that the Vietnam-Mongolia Joint Business Council was set up to push trade and investment links, especially in high-tech agriculture and farm products. They suggested the two governments consider opening a direct air route between the two nations to facilitate import-export activities and manifest cooperation among their firms. Earlier, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc and high-ranking officials of the Vietnamese government collected at the well-known Gobi wool factory. Established in 1981, Gobi has become one of the world's leading wool factories, specializing in producing cashmere.
A delegation from the Vietnamese National Assembly's Committee for Deputy Affairs, led by its head Trần Văn Túy, is on a working visit to Laos. The delegation was received by Chairwoman of the Lao National Assembly, Pani Yathotu, in Vientiane on July 14.
Thuy told his host that Vietnam will continue to work closely with Laos in building a draft agreement on supporting Laos in organizing training courses for deputies to the National Assembly and People's Councils in the 2016 to 2020 period. He informed the outcome of the early talks with a delegation from the Laos Institute of Legislation Research under the Lao National Assembly Standing Committee. Major topics discussed during the talks included the reality of law building in Vietnam, the rights and obligations of provincial people's councils, the supervisory role of people's committees in socio-economic development, and experience in the settlement of hot issues. For her part, Chairwoman Pani Yathotu said Laos hopes to learn Vietnam's experience in operating the National Assembly, especially in law building. She lauded the visit of the Vietnamese delegation, as well as experience they have shared, which contribute to improving the capacity of Lao deputies to the National Assembly and People's Committees at all levels. While appreciating Vietnam's support to the Lao National Assembly of the past years, the Lao leader said the assistance has not only helped strengthen relations between the two legislative bodies, but also contributed to fostering special ties and comprehensive cooperation between Laos and Vietnam.
Vietnam exported 2.7 million tons of rice in the first 6 months of 2016, a decrease of 32% from the same period last year, mostly due to competition from other countries. According to the Vietnam Food Association, besides Myanmar, Pakistan and India, local exporters has to contend with Thailand selling off a huge stockpile of its rice. In the first quarter, rice exports increased more than half compared to the same period last year, mostly because of contracts signed last year. But with domestic rice prices higher than global levels in March and April, many domestic exporters were unable to sign new contracts, leading to a fall in exports in the second quarter. Asian countries remained the main buyers of Vietnamese rice, accounting for 67% of the total rice exports, followed by Africa and America. However, in the first half of the year, total rice exports to Asia fell by 5.4%. Unlike the fall of exports to Asia, rice exports to Africa and America rose 10.8% and 11% respectively compared to the first half of last year. The Vietnam Food Association has adjusted the total export target for the year from 6.5 million to 5.65 million, excluding border trade, a year-on-year fall of 14%. Hanoi earned more than $5.2 billion from exports in the first 6 months of 2016, up 0.1% year-on-year. The figure has been released by the Municipal Department of Industry and Trade. Exports enjoying growth included garments, textiles, which brought in $711 million, followed by machinery, equipment, components, and means of transport and spare parts. Electronic products, footwear and leather goods and handicrafts also posted increases in export revenues. By contrast, computer components and agricultural produce saw lower turnover compared to the equivalent period last year. In June alone, the capital city earned $926 million from exports, up 3.2% from May. The northern province of Bắc Ninh has granted investment certificates to 67 new foreign direct investment FDI projects with a combined capital of $337 million since the beginning of 2016. According to figures from the Provincial Department of Planning and Investment, the Republic of Korea is the top investor with 50 projects worth $246 million, followed by Japan with 4 projects worth a total of $35 million. The province also granted business certificates to 567 local enterprises with a total capital of 3.48 trillion Vietnam dong, $153 million, bringing the total number of businesses registered under the enterprise law to 7,798 with a combined capital of 107.58 trillion Vietnam dong, or $4.7 billion. In terms of FDI enterprises, until now, Bắc Ninh had 864 registered projects with a combined capital of $11.9 billion, of which 707 projects are operational, providing jobs to more than 180,000 laborers. National flag carrier Vietnam Airlines has been certified as a 4-star airline by the UK's airline and airport rating organisation Skytrax. Our reporters will bring more details.
At the announcing ceremony, Skytrax CEO Edward Plaisted said, "This 4-star airline rating is an excellent achievement for Vietnam Airlines and the result of the hard work across the range of product and service areas." He added that Skytrax recognized the considerable changes and improvements that Vietnam Airlines have achieved, from bettering quality services of business class to overhauling of cabin staff training, which will help the airline strengthen its position as a 4-star airline. Since 2015, Vietnam Airlines has carried out a number of programs to improve its service quality according to international 4-star standards. The airline is upgrading its fleet with the introduction of both Boeing 7879 Dreamliner and Airbus A350-900XYB. With the new certification, Vietnam Airlines is being listed among top global airlines such as Air France, Emirates, Japan Airlines, Korean Air, and Lufthansa.
22 stone sculptures highlighting Guangxi Ancient Citadel are being introduced at a creation camp organized in the citadel's relic site in the central province of the same name. The works on display were selected from multiple sculptures made from granite created by artists across the country. Themed Guangxi Ancient Citadel, Immortality and Revival, the sculptures demonstrate patriotism, indomitable spirit, and sacrifices of Vietnamese soldiers and people during the fierce 81-day and night battle to protect the citadel in 1972. Such works are highly appreciated in terms of both technologies and artistic values. And that has wrapped up our bulletin. Thank you for tuning in and see you soon.